Welcome everybody to Eye of the Serpent Tarot. So today I'm not filming a pick a card or even a collective reading. What I'm doing is I'm filming an update for my welcome video for my channel. And I wanted to do this because I've been running the channel for a bit over a year now and it's really evolved. It's really changed and developed, perhaps not massively, but subtly and strongly to reflect the collective that is drawn to the channel. And I cannot say this or stress this too much. The people who are coming to this channel, I think, are extraordinary. I honestly have found over time the energy that has been coming through, the messages that have been coming through for the collective that are drawn to this channel are amazing. And I'm not saying that in some competitive way with other channels. I'm just saying my experience of this. And that has had a profound effect on the topics that I've done more and more of and how I've been looking at what could be helpful for the collective. And it's had a very big impact on what I think is the mission for this channel. And there's sort of two key missions that I want to talk about so that any of you who've seen this evolution, you can see how I'm looking at it now if you watch this video, or if you're new to the channel, welcome. This is the sort of community that we're trying to build, and this is what I see building, and you know, I want to honor you and your journey on that. So I want to talk about those sorts of missions and why and what that means for the channel going forward. So one of the key things, as I say, that I've found with the energies coming through, there's been a recurring pattern about very powerful people in one form or another. And this doesn't necessarily mean you have to be sort of on the fast track to public office or to being a CEO, though some of you may well be. But it is people who understand, who do see beyond, who understand the transformation that this world is going through and have something to contribute spiritually, creatively, at whatever level it is, but they get it, they're awake. And the issue I think around this is that the concept of transformation in many ways has been around for a long time, but we're really starting to see the rubber hit the road. I remember over 30 years ago talking to flatmates I had at the time who were journalists, and they were looking at work that futurists talked about at that time about how society was inevitably going to have to change, certainly in the Western world and more generally with globalization, because technology and the sort of advances in that area inevitably were going to mean that we had less need for full-time or permanent work across all areas, a rise in thought work as opposed to, say, manual work in many ways. So this is not in any sense to say it's completely replaced, but there is a shift, and that we were going to end up with potentially more spare time and a different way of defining ourselves. And that was seen even back then. And I think we're really starting to see that happen now, and it will happen even more. There are enormous benefits in that. There are enormous opportunities for creative inspiration, spiritual development, all of those sort of things. And I think the people who come to this channel get that. And I think this is part of the journey. This is part of your mission. This is part of why you're here. But I also think there's much to think about logistically and practically around all this. What does AI mean for us? What does a rise in sort of spiritual diversity mean? What does increased globalization mean? All of these things, these changes are coming, and how do we support each other? How do we support the earth? How do we support humanity? How do we build communities based on connection and what we have in common? Because the media, unfortunately, does tend to be quite bifurcated. It does tend to be taking and putting people in camps with different views and making us, I think, artificially feel that we're more different to each other than we actually are. So I think the people who are coming here, and what I'm trying to do with a lot of the sorts of videos around self-development, spiritual development, the big picture ideas, is give that kind of messaging and channel messaging from spirit, whatever spirit wants to get out to people like you, people who I think in one way or another and at whatever level you do are going to be the movers and the shakers and have a mission. So this is all about transformation, seeing beyond. So there will always be a very strong focus on that kind of energy. And one of the things about that is building the community. So I think this community is amazing, and this is not really about me. All I am is a messenger. All I am is a channel for whatever spirit wants to do to draw people together. So I do hope people connect. I see that people discuss things in the comments. I think that's wonderful. I think the more that we sort of understand again what we have in common and connect different creative people, different political people, different social activists, whatever it is, I think that the future is in community. I think the way that we can make these changes work for us and get more rich lives rather than feeling marginalized and isolated is to find community, find that connection. That's our strength. So I do hope to build this community, and I will experiment with types of readings and so forth over the next probably 6 months or more, just, slowly but surely, to see how I can reach out to a wider audience, because I want to make sure that these messages and this connection gets as wide as possible to get the right people. I don't necessarily think nor aim to be a huge channel. I just want to make sure that the messages get to the people that will create this community, that bring this together. I'm quite old, so I'm really looking at this as partly a legacy. It's partly sort of what I can do in the latter stages of my life to help and to inspire those who are going to take all of this forward. And as a result of that, I'm also, the other part of the message of this is to really support the creative spirit in whatever way that it occurs. I love to support creative people, and I see that as a very broad thing. But one of the ways I love particularly to do it, and this whole spread here is an indication of this, is wherever possible using indie decks, people who are really starting to bring their sort of spiritual ideas and their art out into the world. I love to do that. Always keep an eye on what's coming out, and if anybody does do decks out there and they want, the support, somebody to be a cheerleader and get their deck and use it or whatever, please let me know, because I really genuinely do love creative people. You make my life far more interesting than it would otherwise be, so I'm very grateful for that. So there will be an emphasis on that. I do also use mass market decks from certain spiritually based publishing houses like Inner Traditions, Rock Pill Publishing and Blue Angel, because they've given me express permission to do it. I always make sure that I get that to support the creators in whatever medium they're in. So you will see those as well, and you do see those as well, but that's the emphasis around how I walk the talk, I guess, about this. So what this all means is you will see more of the sort of videos you've seen if you're familiar with the channel. If you're not, we do look at spiritual development, self-development, big ticket issues, all of that sort of stuff. I'm also going to be doing some shorter form, less complex, more sort of immediate sort of topics as well, to see if I can broaden the audience. But really, it's all focused on how are we resilient to go through the massive change? How will we support each other in any aspect, the most personal up to political or spiritual or transformational, to find our soul family, the true tribe. And there's probably going to be a number of tribes connecting in this and different ways that can work together, to then find that we are boundless and that it's time as illuminated souls to shine. So that really is what I am hoping this channel helps with. And as I say, it's really more about you than it is about me. Spirit is drawing in the people. There is a very high energy, as I say, around it. I feel very honoured to read for this collective, and I hope the collective grows and it's helpful. And I enjoy it very much. So I hope that you continue to enjoy the readings. I hope you continue to enjoy the channel, and that you come with me and with the community on this voyage of discovery, I think, into the new, into the beyond. So with that, I will say thank you to my already regular subscribers and viewers and part of this community, and I will say welcome to anybody watching this thinking about joining. If this intrigues you and you like the readings, please subscribe, please join, please connect in. Use this as a focal point potentially. And, of course, do it with other channels as well. There are other channels that I follow and really love that are doing similar things. I think this is a amazing platform on that level for that. So I hope that you'll come with me on the journey. And with that, I will wish you well.